Hello and welcome to SurvivorPool-AI, where we have used three artificial intelligence models, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Grok, and used them to create three artificial intelligence agents. And each week those agents pick a team to enter into an NFL survivor pool. My name is Kip Skavinsky, and I'm assisted in this with or by Eric Tedisco, who is helping with some technical aspects of YouTube and social media. Now, please like and subscribe. I want to say that before I forget. Please like and subscribe, as it will help us out a lot. Now, to reiterate somewhat, back 8-9 weeks ago, we did an initial video where we set up the models, and we went over some of the ways that we have asked the models to perform in this somewhat, I think, complex task. We've in effect laid the foundation or the groundwork for this. So if you're interested, go back to that episode to see what we have done or what we've tried to create. This is week 8 of the NFL season, and we've actually entered 2 pools. One, I'll call it a local pool that that's started with 134 participants. And we also entered a national pool that started with something like 47,000 participants. As of week 7 last week, all of our models were eliminated from that pool. So we will move on from that pool. As far as the local pool is concerned, 2 of our models, or 2 of our agents, ChatGPT and Grok, have also been eliminated from that pool. That pool is a double elimination, so you have 1 extra life after your first incorrect pick. So as of now, we've already declared Gemini the winner in the competition between these 3 agents. The other aspect of this, besides the competition between the various agents and the AI agents, is that for you, the viewer, it offers you insight as to how the agents came up with their pools, what their thinking was, what they've considered, and they've really helped you to hopefully make an intelligent pick. As I say, 2 of them have been eliminated, so that may or may not be seen at this point, but they go over odds, power rankings, waiver wire issues, home and away, travel, etc. They gather up all that information into their weekly selection. So again, as of this date, beginning on week 8, we have 1 participant left, and that's Gemini. As I said, the local pool's double elimination, and after week 7, there are 32 participants remaining with no losses, and 58 participants remain with 1 loss. I used Grok to, we as of last week, we were still in the national pool, and I used Grok to make a selection for that pool, and it actually screwed up. And so I want to kind of reiterate or give a warning as far as these models are concerned. They picked the Cardinals, saying that thinking that they were playing Jacksonville. However, the Cardinals, and they picked the Cardinals, and as you know, the Cardinals were not playing Jacksonville, they were playing the Packers. And although they almost won that game, they lost. That eliminated us, all of us from that larger pool. So the long story short is that while these agents or models are able to sift through tons of data and help you make a selection, we all still have to be careful because they are at times prone to error, and we have to check their work. So, in the local pool, Gemini's picks for week 8, and I'll go over them and Gemini's logic. But first of all, I congratulated Gemini, the twins, here in picking the Patriots last week. And that proved to be a good pick. As far as Gemini's picks to date, I will go over them. Week 1, they picked the Jaguars, 2, the Cowboys, 3, the Buccaneers, then the Bills, Lions, Packers, and Patriots. So those are teams that are now not available to Gemini for week 8. So in week 8, Gemini says that with 32 players remaining with no loss, we're in a pretty strong position. So we're looking for a team that's a strong favorite, but one that doesn't have incredible value for later in the season, as our pool is getting much smaller. So the top considerations, as far as Gemini says for week 8, is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. Their win odds are around 89%. They're favored by 14 points, which is a huge margin as far as NFL games are concerned. And this is the safest pick with implied probability. The Colts do have some decent matchups later in the season. For example, week 13 versus the Texans. And I'll have to check that to see if that's correct, but that's what Gemini's saying. But nothing comes close to this massive week 8 spread. It says they're the most popular pick, around 33% usage, which is a key factor. Using a very popular team reduces our standing in the pool if they win, but also takes out a huge chunk of the competition if they lose. Well, if they lose, we lose too. And given 2 lives, maximum safety with high odds is a very good strategy right now. A number 2 choice would be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Washington Commanders. Their win odds are 82% and favored by 10.5 points. It says future value, Kansas City is a powerhouse, but with a lot of potential with high win rate spots remaining. Burning them here is costly in terms of future flexibility. And popularity, it says surprisingly light, around 4% usage. I don't know if that reflects the fact that Kansas City might have been taken by a whole lot of the pool participants in prior weeks. And I want to talk about that here at the end of this episode. Atlanta, and then their third option is the Atlanta Falcons versus Miami. They say with odds around 74%, they're favored by 7.5 points. That's a good pick. Future value, it says it's likely the Falcons' best spot for the entire season. They have a few other decent spots, but this is a very soft home matchup. And it'll be a fairly popular pick. It says the second most popular pick. So anyway, the week 8 selection for Gemini is the Indianapolis Colts. It says while their popularity is high, the primary goal at this stage, especially with 2 lives, is maximum safety. We want to eliminate the risk of a loss and ensure we move on to week 9, which is what everybody in the pool wants to do. And a future value we lose is acceptable because we are prioritizing the absolute best chance to survive the current week. So, okay, so we entered the Colts as their selection, and at the end of that, I asked Gemini, I said, have you given any thought to your strategy for the second week of the season? Because this will take us through week 8, which is pretty much half the season. And it churned for quite a while, thinking of response. So after a couple of minutes, I actually stopped the response, figuring that we would address this issue down the road when I had a little more time. So that ends in effect, the selection part of this, but I want to make a couple of other comments. One, is there anything that we can do on this video to make it more useful to you as a viewer in terms of selections, picks, going through the logic of these picks, etc. One issue which you might encounter here is that in this case, Gemini is picking a team based on the teams that they have picked before and are not available to them. But in the viewer's case, they may have some of those teams available to them, in which case Gemini's picks may or may not be as insightful, or you as a viewer may have other options which Gemini at this point doesn't. So I've been thinking of a way to get around that, or is there a way to address that for the viewer to make it more useful? And I haven't really come up with that yet, but I'm going to try to think about it, particularly if we try to do this podcast or these videos next year. I have some time to maybe set up a different system and be able to present the information to the viewer in a more complete and maybe even more complex form. The other thing is that I think it would be useful to lay out, as I tried to ask Gemini, given their thoughts going down the road, what their teams and picks might be. And so it might be useful to lay out some of the options for picks for the next couple of weeks of teams that Gemini already picks, but might have but that maybe the viewer has not picked, that might be good options for selections in the weeks 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, etc. So again, I would appreciate your comments, if you have any, related to how you found these videos, and whether you have any ideas that would help us make this more useful to you, the viewer. So I think that's all I have right now. Please, again, like and subscribe, as it will help us out a lot. And again, Gemini's picks for week 8 is the Indianapolis Colts over the Tennessee Titans. So we'll be back next week, and let's see how this turns out for Gemini and for those of you who are viewing this video. Thank you, and have a good weekend.